In November. I know most of you, but for those of you that I haven't met officially beyond today, my name is Anthony Welti. I'm running for Washington State Insurance Commissioner in 2020. Yes, that's 2020, so I will not be on your ballot this year, which means you still have lots of time to stay in touch with me. It's important to me that we get to know each other. One of the problems I think with politics today is government is too far removed from its citizens. The phrase that you hear a lot, we the people, I take to heart. I got involved in politics in general in really the 2016 election when I wasn't happy with either of the two choices that we had for presidency, but more so than that, when there's a couple specific issues that were near and dear to my heart and my wife's heart, that for me to have a voice, I would have to take a day off of work and drive all the way to Olympia. To me, that's just incredibly wrong. For you to have your voice heard, you have to take days off of work to go stand in line with all the suit and tie lobbyists that get paid thousands and thousands of dollars a month just to sit there in the office of politician after politician and shake hands with them. But for people like you and I, for us to get down into Olympia to get our voice heard, we got to use a day of vacation. We got to use a sick day. We got to take food off of our table to go get our voices heard. That was flat out disgusting to me, frankly. I didn't like it. It didn't feel good to me because I felt like I didn't really have a choice to have my voice heard. So I chose this position of insurance commissioner in part because of that reason. In my travels around the state so far, I've discovered what I thought was true, I've discovered is very much true. Most people don't even know that insurance commissioner is a government position or that they get to vote on it.
Yeah.
To me, that's wrong. We may or may not agree on all my solutions to problems that we have, but I guarantee you I will be accessible, okay? I don't want you to have to drive all the way to Olympia to have your voice heard. We live in the 21st century now with Facebook, Zoom conference calls, Skype, right? There are so many innovative things. We live in the tech capital, right? We live in Washington. We got Microsoft, Google, and Amazon in Seattle, Redmond. We should be able to find new and innovative ways to bring government back to the people. Even in a statewide position, I want you guys to have a voice, and we've got to find some real tangible ways to do that versus just electing the same person year in and year out who stays in his office in Olympia, knowing that he'll get elected 4 years later. So I'm hopefully going to stand up for the little guy, the average person in Washington, and to really give you a chance to have your concerns about insurance, whether that's health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, title insurance, whatever the case may be. It's something that we all deal with day in and day out. So I hope to allow you a chance to have access to me, not just today, but in 2020 when you elect me as well. I'm not going to say one thing and then go and do another. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you today I want to be accessible to you, and then in November 2020 be like, thanks for the vote, peace out. Okay? It means too much to me to be accessible and to make sure that I can be accountable to your needs. Accountability in government is gone. It's just gone bonkers. There is no accountability. We're seeing legislators, block their records access, right? They send an email, we should be able to have access to that email because it's ours. It's your email, it's your email, it's your email. And they're blocking access to those kind of things. Again, but meanwhile, the lobbyists get to get in there and hang out all day. So I feel like there's a lack of accountability in government. The position of insurance commissioner has 240 employees underneath it. 240 employees to handle insurance in the state of Washington. They make $27 million in salary. Does anybody have any idea what they do? I don't.
Nope.
Well, let me rephrase that. I do. I didn't until I started caring and started waking up to it. So there's no accountability, right? You've got hundreds of employees in a big office in Olympia. Nobody knows that they can vote for this position. Nobody knows who hires the people that are in charge of, handling the position. And they get paid millions upon millions of dollars of your hard-earned money. There's no accountability. We have to stop that. We have to change it. In the state of Washington, you're taxing over $600 million a year on insurance purchases alone. we often hear rhetoric from both the left and the right side of the aisle about making insurance affordable. I believe if government is going to do anything, if they want to make insurance affordable, first and foremost, they need to stop taking their cut. If they want to truly make insurance affordable, they need to stop taking a piece of the pie. And until they do that, I don't believe they want to make insurance affordable. If I wanted you to be able to buy a house, and I was like, well, actually, before you go buy the house, I want 10 or 20%, 1%, 2%, any portion of it makes it harder for you to buy a house. It's not fair. The government shouldn't be doing that. But they're doing that exact same thing with insurance. $600 million a year. But that's not even the worst part. That money doesn't go to help buy insurance for poor, impoverished, kids in Seattle or on the east side of the mountain. That money goes into the general fund. Goes there to die. Okay? They take your $600 million a year and move it over to the general fund, and who knows what they spend it on. It changes every year, whatever politician gets elected. Well, this year we'll use the $600 million for this, and next year we'll use it for that. Meanwhile, your insurance is getting more expensive, and your insurance is getting more expensive. That's got to stop. That's just at the government level alone. If we want insurance to be affordable, we need to stop taxing it. So that's the number one thing that I'm going to stand for as far as policy reform. I will be the only person in the entire country, not Washington. I will be the only person in the entire country calling for 100% tax reduction on any insurance purchase. If we want insurance to be affordable, we've got to stop making it more expensive. Okay? There's a couple other things I think that we should be doing. But something I want to touch on just briefly here is the idea of health insurance versus health care. Okay? Brian talked about a great solution to health care. Too often we get the terms misconstrued when we want affordable health insurance. Well, you can't have affordable health insurance unless you have affordable care to begin with. Okay? So Brian's direct primary care method is, I believe, an excellent tool that we have to finding alternatives to health insurance and paying directly for the services that we need. But we need to take that a step further. We need to look at what the root causes of why health care is expensive. The pharmaceutical lobbyists in this country, I think, are the number 2 or 3 lobbyists in the entire country. You go to any office in any state, there'll be 3 or 4 different pharmaceutical lobbyists there, trying to control the market to make sure their product makes a lot of money. Not so that you and I are healthy, but so that their shareholders can make a lot of money. And while I appreciate capitalism and businesses being able to make as much money as they think that they need, we need to not do it on the backs of the taxpayers through the elected officials who make special deals for them so they have more control and more power. We need to bring the regulations down so that there's more competition involved. If we can do that and we can lower the cost of care, the cost of insurance will come down inherently. Okay? So what are a couple of ways we can do that? Well, first off, we have to end cronyism. If there's cronyism involved, we will never have a free chance to have healthcare be affordable. So that's the number 2 thing that I'm vowing to do. I'm going to stand for removing all taxation on insurance, and I'm going to vow to take no money from pharmaceutical companies. Not a dime. You can check my public disclosures or my campaign money. Every single dollar I have is from people like yourself. If I get a phone call from a lobbyist saying, hey Anthony, can I take you out to dinner? First thing I'm going to say is, who are you and who are you really calling for? Okay? Are you calling for my friends that came to the local diner meeting? Are you calling for your buddies that work in DC that are trying to make billions and billions of dollars? You can take a guess of which group of people I truly want to work for. And it's not the pharmaceutical lobbies. Okay? This is actually leads into another slight issue that most people don't quite realize in my experience, is the medical device lobby. Okay? The machines that the hospitals are using, the medical device lobby is working very hard to make sure that only their companies have access to the hospitals. Okay? So what that does is anytime a new innovative idea comes out, the major corporate companies, they immediately try to create regulations to prevent competition from coming in, further driving down the price. So if you have a new x-ray machine, well, there's only one new x-ray machine to choose from, instead of the 3 or 4 or 5 other companies. Oh, and then the 5 or 6 off-brand companies. Now all of a sudden, these companies don't stand a chance, which means you're paying triple for your x-ray, okay? I will not take any money from them. Okay, I want to hear what ideas people have, but I don't want to be corrupted by the money that follows. If we cannot get back to these basics, I don't think it matters what the policy is, because when you're bought and paid, the policy quickly changes to favor the people that are paying you. I hope over the next couple of years, you will see that I'm true to my word on this. Anytime you have a question about where my donations are coming from, I want you to call me, I want you to shoot me an email, I want you to look at the state website so you can see Anthony's getting $25 donations from local people throughout Washington, not $1,000 donations from big corporate lobbyists across the country. I'd like to close with probably one other thing here. I'm an average guy. I'm an average Washingtonian. I've made mistakes in my life. I'll make more. I, like a lot of people, I'm one medical bill away from bankruptcy. We all are. I hope you will vote for the little guy, put him in Washington to stand for the little guys and gals, because until we do that, Washington doesn't stand a chance. I'm also on Facebook, so I would love to hear more from you. Anthony Welti, Libertarian for Washington State Insurance Commissioner. I have a website, anthonywelti.com. But more importantly, I'd love to give you my phone number. If you'd like to stay in touch, help with the campaign, share some ideas or some complaints, I need to know what you know. I can't fix this by myself. I don't have all the answers. But with your help, I know that we can elect good people in Washington like Brian and myself, and then maybe hopefully John when he decides to run again. So I appreciate you guys being here. I think I've gone on long enough. I've got lots of ideas, so I'd love to chat more. Thank you.